Good evening, folks. I'm back. So this is the night we talk about um, why we get to call Caitlin Clark the GOAT. Okay. Now, calling someone the GOAT is always contentious. You know this if you followed Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. We were always arguing back and forth with friends of ours who was the GOAT, who wasn't the GOAT. I still say to this day, Larry Bird is the GOAT. And I say that because Larry Bird was the most complete basketball player I ever saw in the NBA. A guy who could dribble the ball, run with the ball, pass the ball, shoot threes, a great inside small forward who was a scoring machine for his team and played defense. So that's to me why Larry Bird's the GOAT. Now, some people have other opinions, okay? And that will always be argued. But Caitlin Clark is a whole different animal, okay? I have never seen anybody in the WNBA play this way. And I'm going to say that there is nobody in the WNBA playing this way right now. And there may be at some point someone coming out of college who will play this way. Okay? I'm not saying that that's not the case. But regardless of that, we get to call Caitlin Clark the GOAT because we can. There's nothing stopping any of us from calling anybody the GOAT. But in Caitlin Clark's case, we have the receipts. Okay? And yes, I fully understand that she has had a rough season this year because she's been injured. Okay? And we're going to get into the beginning of this season when she wasn't injured so that you can understand that had Caitlin Clark not been injured like this, she is now she missed last night's game. I believe that's her 13th miss. She will be missing the Thursday night game. Okay? It's already been announced. And I say, honestly, I don't know how many more games they have the month of July, but they could keep her out the whole month of July and that would be okay with me. She needs to get healthy because a healthy Caitlin Clark is a hell of a lot better than a Caitlin Clark who can come back for 5 games and then re-injure herself and then be out for a prolonged period of time. Okay? It prevents the girl from getting her rhythm. And that's really been one of the drawbacks for her this season, is her inability to be on the floor long enough and in the flow long enough to get her rhythm. Okay? But we're going to talk about how she started off the season this year and what you probably would have seen from her over and over and over and over again had she not been injured. So we're going to do some sharing here because we got some receipts. We're going to look at them. So let's talk about Caitlin Clark's rookie season and the records that she broke. Okay? I'm not going to read all of these to you, okay? Because there's a ton of them. 62 individual records in her rookie year. Remember the rookie year that Gino Auriemma said was never going to be, right? She was her game was not cut out for the WNBA. Remember that statement? And Diana Taurasi, who said that reality was about to hit her because she wasn't playing college students anymore. She was playing in a much tougher league, physically and mentally. And in a way, that kind of invited people to beat up on Caitlin Clark in her first year. And in spite of all of that beating up, Caitlin Clark broke 62 records. Okay? And the reason I believe that they beat up on Caitlin Clark is because they don't know how the hell to stop her. Okay? Much like Michael Jordan when he came into the league. Great first season, spent the second season, a lot of the second season on the injured list as a result of being muscled. The difference is they eventually started blowing the whistle where Michael Jordan was concerned. And therefore, you got to see his greatness unfold because nobody wanted to get into foul trouble. I believe that once the WNBA refs stop blowing the goddamn whistle, we can get back to basketball instead of watching WEE events every night. So let's talk about some of Caitlin Clark's rookie records. Okay. First rookie since 2008 to be named to the All-WNBA first team. 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year. 2024 WNBA All-Rookie Team. Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in WNBA history. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history and first triple-double in Fever history. The first player in the WNBA in its history with 20-plus points, 15-plus assists, and 5-plus rebounds in a game. 4-time WNBA Rookie of the Month. 3-time Eastern Conference Player of the Week. WNBA single-season record for assists. WNBA single-season rookie record for assists. WNBA single-season rookie record for three-pointers. Set the franchise record for the most three-pointers in a season with the Indiana Fever. Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 three-pointers in only 34 games. So this is her rookie record-breaking season. And all of these things that I'm showing you tonight will be in the description of this video for you to go in there and click on and enjoy. There are some also, I'm not going to show them here, but there are also there's one great video compilation that shows all the records she broke as a rookie. That will be in here as well. Then let's go over here. Clark breaks records, surpasses Diana Taurasi in historic rookie season. Remember, Diana Taurasi, who said that reality was about to hit Caitlin Clark as she entered the WNBA. Well, it looks like to me that reality hit Diana Taurasi. And that reality was Caitlin Clark. Clark sets a new WNBA record for most threes by a point guard, surpassing legend Diana Taurasi, previously known as the GOAT. Caitlin Clark is the GOAT. The 21-year-old guard added to her growing list of accolades by surpassing Diana Taurasi's record for the most three-pointers made by a point guard in a single season, cementing her place in WNBA record books. Okay, her season total for points in her rookie season was 769 points, the most ever scored by a point guard in one season. Okay? Caitlin Clark is a force of nature, okay? And, you know, the Olympic snub, I'm sorry, folks, that was probably one of the most egregious things I've ever seen in the history of, competitive sports. But all it did was light a fire under Caitlin Clark for the rest of the season. And she blew the doors off the league. And I am immensely gratified that I got to watch a lot of that. What do we have here? Now, this is 2025, prior to her injuries. And these have been prolonged injuries. Now, we've already got 4 leg injuries in this season. It's been a rough year for Caitlin. Caitlin Clark smashes WNBA record in just the second game of the season. So she opened the season against the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese with a 20-point, 10-assist, 10-rebound triple-double, okay, as the Fever won 93-58, okay? In the second game of the year, she she did it again against the Atlanta Dream. She lost. I believe they lost by I think it was a point. They lost the game, but she scored 27 points, had 11 assists, and 5 rebounds. Now, the 25 points, she actually had 27, but the 25 points and 11 assists against the Dream means she is now standing alone with the most games in WNBA history with 25 or more points and 10 or more assists. This is in her second season in the WNBA. And I maintain, had Caitlin Clark not become injured, not gotten injured, she could have had double doubles an awful lot this season. I believe that her assist record would have been in double figures most nights. And I think if she bounces back, and when she bounces back from this injury-prone season and she comes back in her third year, you're going to see that. There's absolutely no reason why Caitlin Clark can't have double digits in assists every night. Okay, I predicted that for this year, and she was on track to be able to do that, and it just hasn't worked out that way. Okay, again, Caitlin Clark now has the most games in WNBA history with 25 points and 10 assists. 25 plus points and 10 plus assists, I should say. Okay? So, and again, this is kind of just a rehash. It's just a different perspective on the win with that I just read to you, actually. But I will put all of these articles in there. So this is why, folks, we get to call her the GOAT. Because until further notice, Caitlin Clark is the GOAT. You know, and I'm not saying that there aren't great players in the WNBA. There are. Okay, we get some on our team. Kelsey Mitchell. Aaliyah Boston. Okay? I'm acknowledging the great players out there. I think Stewie is awesome. I love Ionescu. And I know Asia Wilson is great. And I believe that Nafisa Collier will win the MVP this year. But I also think had Caitlin Clark been healthy this year, she would have won the MVP. I think it was going to be a head-to-head competition between the two of those women. And I think Caitlin Clark would have won. Be that as it may, guess what? Caitlin Clark has plenty of time to win WNBA records and awards, okay? And particularly the MVP, okay? Plenty of time. She gets healthy. She stays healthy. Caitlin Clark has at least 10 more years of prime time before she starts aging, okay? And we're going to see an awful lot of good stuff from Caitlin Clark coming down the pipeline. I firmly and fully believe that. She's a determined person. She is determined now to take her health into her own hands and get second opinions about how she can best get back onto the court. And she doesn't want to just get onto the court for a week and then re-aggravate injuries. What she wants to do is find ways to get herself healthy so that she can be on the court and injuries can just be incidental. Because in this environment, when you're playing competitive sports on a professional level, it's different than playing on a college level. It's a lot more physical. And again, we will get back to talking about the refs, okay? But not tonight. But we will be talking about that again. And maybe as early as tomorrow. But there's always going to be an opportunity for injury. You roll an ankle, okay? I mean, it happens. It happened to Sophie Cunningham at the beginning of the season. So people have to understand that. But I just wanted to be able to tell the haters out there that you all can be in denial all you want. But Caitlin Clark has brought the receipts as to why she should be called the GOAT, okay? And you can be in denial that, you know, there are other players in the league who are just as good as her. You can continue to think those delusional thoughts if you want. Okay, you're perfectly free to do that. And we are perfectly free to reject that notion. Because there's nobody playing in the league like her now. And there has not been anybody who has played in this league before her just like her. There have been other great players in the league. Maya Moore is one. Okay? Rebecca Lobo. But nobody that has played the game like Caitlin Clark. We are seeing a generational player come into the WNBA, and it shows. So let me just give you a little closing tidbit. The other way in which Caitlin Clark is moving the needle is in revenue stream. Okay? And that includes, TV ratings. So there was an ESPN look at the All-Star game, right? And they showed this graphic. And it was a graphic of, it had a graphic up of, viewership numbers for a previous year's All-Star game. And on the other side, it had the viewership numbers from the most recent All-Star game. But when you look at the small print underneath those graphs, they were comparing the 2023 All-Star game with the 2025 All-Star game. So, which begs the question, what the hell happened to 2024? Well, what the hell happened in 2024 is that Caitlin Clark played in the All-Star game. She did not play in 2023, obviously, because she was not in league yet. And she certainly didn't play in the last one because she's injured. So what they didn't show you were the 2024 numbers. If they had put the 2024 numbers next to the 2025 numbers, viewership would have gone down 36%. Not up, down 36%. Caitlin Clark moves the needle. The people want to see Caitlin Clark. That's the bottom line. The people want to see Caitlin Clark. And that is just the way it is. Like I said, outside of the TD Garden last Tuesday night, the streets were full of people. And everywhere you looked, all of the bars were having Caitlin Clark watch parties. She's like a little folk hero here in Boston. This is Indiana territory. Larry Bird was from Indiana. Okay? But Caitlin Clark fills the arenas. And it's not just the Connecticut Sun who has had to move their games. There are other WNBA teams who have had to move their games to bigger venues. For example, in Chicago, they had to move it to where the Chicago Bulls play. Caitlin Clark is the draw. And Caitlin Clark is the draw for a reason. And it's because she's a generational player. So yes, my friends, we get to call Caitlin Clark the GOAT. I will be back tomorrow. We will talk further. I also have a list of people who have commented on the videos with questions and asked me to touch on subjects. So we will be doing another video of commenters, comments that people have asked me to answer and address things and look things up and investigate. And I'm working on that now. I also have a couple of emails that I want to talk about, and you can email me anytime. The email is in the description of the YouTube channel. And also, I urge you guys to always check out the posts tab, because I put stuff in there that I can't necessarily show on screen because of copyright violations. So there are videos and other great things in there about Caitlin Clark that if you take the time to look in there, if you have time, it's a good place to look. Please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us. It helps push the algorithm, and we get more and more Caitlin Clark folks into our community. I will talk to you all later. Have a great night, and I will see you again tomorrow.